Coming up on Mountain News this morning, the man responsible for the shooting that took the lives of 3 police officers and a canine officer prepares to make another appearance in court, and donations pour in to help an Eastern Kentucky community recover after that tragic shooting.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning to you. It's Monday. The weekend's over, sadly. I'm Dakota Makris. Thank you for waking up with us. And I was going to keep talking until the clock hit 6 o'clock, but I don't think I could talk that long just because you all know my whole thing about, saying on the dot. But let's take it over to Brandon this morning. Brandon, good morning to you. See, I was just going to waste time and just talk like I am now, but then our producer would get mad and you would get mad. It'd be a whole thing. So
I mean, if you want, just go ahead.
No.
I don't have a whole lot to talk about over here, so I mean.
Nope.
Yeah. All right, we'll get you into it this morning. We'll take a look up on top of Jenkins Mountain there, US 119, US 23, going over into southwest Virginia. No fog up there, but again, it's a valley fog we've been watching this morning, so continue to be careful if you're down in those valleys. A lot of fog showing up on some of those cameras this morning. 57 Clintwood, 59 Wise. Everybody else is in the 60s this morning, back to 68 in Jacksboro down in East Tennessee. That's our warm spot. Again, several spots a little colder this morning than they were yesterday, now including Moorhead. They're now 2 degrees colder from this time yesterday, 4 degrees colder in Harlan, 7 degrees colder in Hazard, and 8 degrees colder right now in Prestonsburg. 87 the forecast high today, which is 2 degrees above the average high of 85. 93 the record set back on this day in 1990. Dakota?
Brendan, thank you. Well, the man accused of murdering the 3 police officers and a police canine and injuring several others will make another appearance before a judge today. 49-year-old Lance Stores is set to return to Floyd County District Court this afternoon at 1:30 for a preliminary hearing. State police say officers went to execute a domestic violence order when Stores began firing a high-powered rifle at law enforcement in a shootout that lasted several hours. In a news conference, County Attorney Keith Bartley said they expect his charges to be upgraded as the investigation continues. His first court appearance was July 1st, in which a not guilty plea was entered on his behalf. Donations have piled through for law enforcement in Floyd County following the shooting in Allen. Our Chandler Wilcox details how the fundraising has helped raise spirits during a time of grief.
An amount of donations they were not expecting.
It is amazed me at what kind of response we've had. I get chills thinking about it because it is overwhelming.
A response from all over the nation.
It's just amazing. We've had donations from everywhere. A lot of local donations, but also from states everywhere in the United States.
The Floyd County Community Foundation has raised over $39,000 so far following the shooting in Allen, something Floyd County Community Foundation Chair Ellen Harris feels confident will keep growing.
I know what they're capable of. I know what we will do. I know the families will help. These families will all be helped in a large way.
And that means a lot for Harris, who has lived in Allen and has many connections to the town.
It's just, I've watched it and you can't do anything else. You just have to watch. And it's just all you're thinking about. It's a lot.
The foundation says while they are still figuring out where all the money will go, they have already written a few checks for immediate needs. From Floyd County, Chandler Wilcox, WYMT Mountain News.
Other counties in the state have pitched in with resources already, supplying police in Floyd County with vehicles, gear, and patrol units. One Southwest Virginia fire chief is being treated in a hospital following a crash. In a post on the Appalachia Fire Department Facebook page, officials say around 9:20 Saturday morning, Chief Robert Anderson Jr. was on his way home from a shift at the Bristol, Virginia Fire Department when the crash happened near his home. Officials say he was taken to a hospital before being taken to another facility for further treatment. In a recent update, fire department officials say Chief Anderson is doing better and is in good spirits. A historic building in Wayne County, West Virginia went up in flames during the weekend. Firefighters say the call came in around 4:45 Saturday morning for a fire at the old Wayne News building, now a woodworking shop. AEP shut off power to the building and Mountaineer Gas closed off the natural gas pipeline. Crews say it was a dangerous fire to tackle because of the chemicals stored in a back building. Officials were able to protect homes nearby and prevent any damage. The Watts Woodworking building was a total loss.
It's heartbreaking in town. I mean, You know, we're striving to have businesses in this town anyhow, and then when something like this happens, we lose one, you know, that's vital to the community.
Well, when the front of that building collapsed, it just barely missed 3 firefighters. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. The Bell County Volunteer Fire Department hosted a community picnic during the weekend. The community and elected officials, including Kentucky State Police Commissioner Philip Burnett, joined in celebrating the hard work that first responders put in. Bell County Volunteer Fire Department President Tim H. Mills says they respond to all sorts of calls.
We ourselves answer hundreds of calls a year. Currently, we're at like call number 195 since January of this year. That's a lot of emergency calls.
Mills also thanked the people of Bell County and fellow first responders for their continued support. A group selected to turn a massive settlement into action to combat opioid addiction is set to meet for the first time this week. Attorney General Daniel Cameron says the Kentucky Opioid Abatement Advisory Commission will hold its first meeting Tuesday afternoon in Frankfort. The panel is charged with handling Kentucky's portion of the settlements finalized this year with drug maker Johnson & Johnson and 3 major distributors. Half of Kentucky's $483 million settlement will flow directly to cities and counties for opioid abuse abatement efforts, and the commission will oversee the state's half. The meeting is open to the public and will be live streamed. We continue to track the pandemic in the Commonwealth. Nearly 40 Kentucky counties are seeing high levels of COVID-19. Here's a look at the new state map. Many counties are back in the red, including Perry, Leslie, Breathitt, and Pike counties. As of last Monday, the state's positivity rate is around 15.75%. Overcrowded shelters are no longer a rare sight, but why are they reporting such high intake numbers? Owners surrendering their pets due to aggression or allergies is the main reason pets are brought into shelters. Well, another reason is lost pets brought in when people think they're strays. The ASPCA reports around 6.5 million animals enter shelters across the country each year. Officials say only 3.2 million animals get adopted, and the other 3.3 million are mostly euthanized. Well, the number of homes on the market in the Bluegrass keeps increasing. But despite higher interest rates and more homes on the market, the Lexington Bluegrass Association of Realtors says homes are selling faster than faster than last year, rather. The number of homes on the market went up by 8% in May. Properties remained on the market for just 21 days in May, down 25 days in April.
When you compare what's happening in 2022 to, say, pre-pandemic levels, we are still seeing significant gains over where we were at in 2019. And despite the fact that inventory is limited and demand is at an all-time high, still, despite the rising interest rates, prices continue to appreciate consistently and healthy, although perhaps not quite at the same rate of appreciation we've seen over the last 18 months.
The median price for a home in May was $248,000. That was a 10% increase from 1 year ago. Gas prices have dropped by more than a dime in the past week across Lexington as a slow but steady decline continues, but drivers are still feeling the pain of going to the pump. Jeremy Toms caught up with AAA of the Bluegrass to discuss the current trends and heard from drivers about how it continues to impact their daily lives.
Lori Weaver Hawkins with AAA of the Bluegrass says July is the busiest travel month of the year, but drivers are still seeing a little relief despite the high demand.
And the reason is crude oil prices went down. We saw them dip down below that $100 mark, and we hadn't seen that since springtime.
Gas prices in Lexington vary, but people hitting the road now are paying around a quarter less per gallon than they did a month ago. Weaver Hawkins attributes the drop to demand destruction, which occurs when the price of a product gets so high that consumers find ways to avoid buying the product. In this case, gasoline.
Today I put in $30 and only filled up 6 gallons, and my car holds like 13. So, a year ago, $30 would have been my whole tank.
Reagan LaPierre had been commuting from EKU to Georgetown for work.
But there's no point with gas prices being so high, coming back and forth. I'm going to have to find a new job up there.
I sell oil and gas. I've been in it 7 years. I get 3 tanks of gas almost a week right now because I drive multiple states.
Blake Sides is spending around $1,000 every month on gas alone. He's seen the impact on the inside as well.
My current company, they went from 1 week delivery to 2 week delivery just from gas prices. So we had customers that weren't too happy about it.
Despite the persistently negative experience at the pump, Sides is appreciative of the slight drop we're seeing and wants to maintain a positive outlook.
It does hit the wallet hard, but we'll bet on ourselves and hopefully come through it all right.
That was Jeremy Toms reporting. Some officials say the drop likely won't last long based on a variety of factors. They urge drivers to keep their cars well maintained and use the proper grade of fuel for your vehicle so that you can maximize your gas mileage.
6:09 here on this Monday morning. We are tracking a little bit of fog in some locations, but not everybody's seeing that. Just be careful as you head out the door. Mountain Parkway near the Wolf Pound County line at Slade. The sun is coming up. Minimal cloud cover this morning, so no major issues up that way. Temperatures 50s in Clintwood and Y, 60s everywhere else, but again, some low 60s coming in. Prestonsburg's at 61, Pikeville and Wayne at 62. We're seeing 63 in Irvin this morning, Logan as well, 63 in Hazard, but 66 Manchester, Somerset, Williamsburg, and then 68 in Jacksboro. Looks like we just went down to 56 in Clintwood this morning. 87 for the forecast overall today. Fog gives way to sunshine, calm conditions. A stray chance for a passing shower can't be ruled out, but mainly dry today. That's the big headline. Scattered chances for storms tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, thanks to a weak disturbance moving through, and a touch cooler thanks to that disturbance later this week. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you so much. 6:10 here. When we come back to our Mountain News this morning, protests continue in the wake of the overturning of Roe versus Wade. Stay with us. We'll be right back.